Hi, Dr. Kapavik here, and I am going to read one of my blogs, Sleep Deprivation Risks, Know the Hidden Dangers. I'm such a big fan of getting enough sleep. I'll tell you, lack of sleep may cause your health irreversible damage, and the statistics speak for themselves. It turns out that sleep deprivation can harm your mental and physical health and that of those around you. You may be guilty of cutting back on your sleep for your daily demands, especially work. And it's understandable. However, if you knew just how detrimental sleep deprivation is, you would probably find ways to improve your sleeping habits and ensure you're getting the right amount of sleep, quality sleep, every night. So let's take a look at the effects of sleep deprivation. Increased pain sensitivity. UC Berkeley did a study on a group of healthy undergrads who did not suffer from sleep or pain disorders. First, they made them sleep the whole night. Then they started depriving them of sleep. In both instances, the scientists gave them pain in the leg while recording their brain activity. The study found that the participants felt pain sooner when they were deprived of sleep than when they had had enough sleep. This was due to the decreased activity of the nucleus accumbens, which plays a vital function in pain management and is an effective source of analgesia, the ability to feel pain. Number two. So if you've got pain, get your sleep. Number two, weakened immune system. This should be a no-brainer. However, it's always a great reminder. If areas in the body need to heal, the brain can trigger the release of hormones like growth hormone, which encourage tissue growth to repair blood vessels. This not only speeds up the healing of wounds, it also helps to recover strained or damaged muscles. In addition, 4 hours of sleep for one night reduces natural killer cell activity to an average of 72%. These cells are critical in the body's immune response, acting as the first line of defense against cancer cells, bacteria, other potential dangers. Sleep helps you fight against sickness. Sleep helps you fight against sickness, while a single night of poor sleep can impair your natural killer cells activity by as much as 70%. Oof. A 2009 study states that people who sleep less than 7 hours a night are 3 times more likely to develop a cold than those who sleep 8 hours or more. In another study, findings state that women sleeping 5 hours or less a night have a 70% chance of developing pneumonia. Yeah, studies have it. You got to get your sleep. All right, another detrimental effect, which I don't know very many people that want this. Hair loss. Your hair goes through a growth cycle between the anagen, which is your growth phase, the catagen, which is your transition phase, and the telogen, which is your resting phase. The active phase is when the cells in the root of your hair divide the fastest, forming more new hair. Next is the transition phase, where hair follicles shrink and hair growth slows. Lastly, the resting phase is when the hair does not grow, but it stays attached to the follicle. These are the hairs that you lose every single day, especially when you're just combing your hair. Then the cycle repeats, returning to the active phase. When the body is stressed out due to hormonal imbalances or an illness, all of which may be due to a lack of sleep as well, you can develop telogen effluvium, also called stress-related hair loss. I know this was happening a lot around the COVID times. And, not only was COVID producing an unusual stress on the body, it also was producing an unusual mental stress on the mind, right? So we had a lot of people with hair loss. Now, if you can imagine sleep is an additional stress on your body. So this condition alters the normal hair cycle where the anagen phase slows down and a high percentage of your hair enters the telogen phase. So instead of having 50 to 100 hair strands entering the telogen phase daily, the average number that is shed every day, you have thousands or more. Around 30% of hair follicles enter the telogen phase, causing massive hair shedding. So you can recover in about 6 to 12 months. However, chronic telogen effluvium can last up to 7 years. So get your sleep. That's not something I want either, right? Next, memory impairment. Lack of sleep causes alterations in brain cells that disrupt communication between other brain cells. Sleep is so essential for memory formation and recall. And this is because the brain waves are responsible for storing memories produced during sleep. These brain waves help transfer memories from the hippocampus to the prefrontal cortex, which stores our long-term memories. So when you're sleep deprived, memories remain in the hippocampus and they don't reach the prefrontal cortex. This explains why we're forgetful when you don't have enough sleep and have difficulty remembering terms during exams. So even more important for our kids to get enough sleep. Studies suggest that sleep deprivation can worsen existing diseases and increase your risk of developing health problems like Obesity. There's so many studies on getting sleep to help with weight loss, right? If you don't get enough sleep, guess what? Obesity. According to studies, people who sleep less than 6 hours each night are far more inclined to have a body mass index, BMI, higher than the average, whereas those who sleep 8 hours have the lowest BMI. So get your sleep. Poor sleep increases the production of cortisol, or the stress hormone. We already have enough cortisol going around, don't we? We got enough stress going on that we're not dealing with the right mental way. It puts your body into survival mode because it senses danger. We're in fight or flight. That's what happens, and our cortisol goes up. And one of the common reactions is to overeat. It's because your brain thinks you need fuel to fight the stress. Thus, you may eat more than what your body needs. There have been interesting studies that absolutely correlate. People that sleep less tend to eat more. High blood pressure. During sleep, blood pressure is about 10 to 20% lower. Sleep helps the body in controlling the hormones that regulate stress and metabolism, and sleep deprivation can impair your body's capacity to regulate stress hormones that keep your blood pressure higher for a longer time. People who sleep less than 6 hours have an increased risk of developing hypertension, high blood pressure by 37%. That's pretty dang significant. If you have high blood pressure, get your sleep. And if you already have high blood pressure, sleep deprivation will worsen your blood pressure. Get your sleep. Constipation. Woof, another one that people do not like to have, is very uncomfortable and very not healthy in many ways. So here's an unlikely contributor to your constipation. The National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey conducted a survey of 4,590 people aged 20 and up from 2005 to 2010 to find the relationship between sleep and constipation. The study followed guidelines from the National Sleep Foundation, and sleep was split into 3 categories: short, which is less than 7 hours, normal, which is 7 to 8 hours, and long, more than 8 hours. They concluded that constipation rates were significantly lower among normal sleepers than short sleepers and long sleepers. So your normal sleepers were 8.3%, short sleepers was 12.5%, and long sleepers 11%. Not huge differences in percentages. However, it's obviously correlated, and your body's not able to detox and do what it needs to do when it sleeps at night if you're not getting the sleep. Aside wreaking havoc to your health, lack of sleep may also cause you more immediate problems. It causes work-related accidents. Have you heard of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant? In 1986, disaster was caused by a human mistake. It was discovered later that the workers in charge were sleep deprived. Insufficient sleep duration causes cognitive deterioration. It impairs cognitive processes, impacting everything from memory to reflexes. This causes you to make more mistakes, make poor decisions. It means that you are more likely to miss critical steps in the safety process and forget safety precautions and misjudge or completely overlook dangerous conditions. Studies have shown that nurses working the night shift made 32% more mathematical errors than nurses working the day shift. That's pretty darn significant. So I would say schedule your reasons for going to the hospital during the day if you have to. And drivers who sleep for 6 hours or less are 33% more likely to have an accident on the road than those who sleep for 7 or 8 hours. 33%. That's a lot. So imagine how many people are sleep deprived driving on our roads, especially in Houston, Texas, where our traffic is crazy. Our accidents are crazy lately too. So if you've never really given serious consideration to sleep as an important ally in your quest to achieve your health and personal goals, obviously now is the time to start. And that concludes my blog reading. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe for more health tips. Thank you very much. Have a fabulous day, and reach out. Let me know if there is any way I can help you. If there's anything I can do, I'd be happy to help. Thank you.